Barcelona are back from the international break with a resounding 4-0 victory over Athletic Bilbao. This was psychologically significant because it marked the return to their home stadium since May 2023. But behind the emotions and sentiments were a few key tactical decisions that secured all 3 points for Hansi Flick's side on the night. Now, we will be breaking it all down in this video, and to start off, let's look at the lineups and formations. Now, both teams started with a similar 4-2-3-1 formation, but it was Hansi Flick's team selection that had some interesting choices. Eric Garcia was back in goal after being sidelined for 9 games due to injury. In defense, we had Koundé and Balde in the fullback positions, while Gerard Martin started alongside Kubasi in centre-back. Now, the midfield is where it gets even more interesting because if you remember, Frenkie de Jong picked up a red card against Celta which ruled him out of this game, meaning we had to play without 2 of our 3 starting midfielders. And so Hansi Flick went with Dani Olmo, Fermin Lopez, and of course, Mr. Utility himself, Eric Garcia. This meant that Eric Garcia was tasked with the vital role of protecting the backline while offering aggression in midfield. This proved to be decisive in the game right from the first minute as Eric Garcia continuously stepped up to break Bilbao's build-ups and win back the ball. And there's no better way to demonstrate this than with the first goal. Now look when Barcelona initially loses possession at the edge of the box. Eric Garcia and Gerard Martin immediately put on the press to try to win the ball back, but also to prevent the counter-attack, something that we've struggled to do in a lot of games this season. Eric Garcia is able to nick the ball off Berenguer and he falls kindly to Lewandowski, who does brilliantly to take the ball round the defender and let off a shot off his left foot that takes Unai Simon unaware and then ends up in the back of the net. Now, I know this was a lovely piece of individual brilliance from Lewandowski, but I like to focus a bit more on the tactical aspect that gets us in the good positions to score, and that is the high press from these guys, winning the ball back and punishing Athletic for the first. But guys, it didn't end there because the next one was even more brilliant. Look at the third goal. Again, it starts from Eric Garcia stepping up to win the ball back. He actually wins the ball and lays a pass out to Ferran Torres. The pass is behind him on the first try, but again, who's stepping up to win it back and continue the attack is Fermin Lopez. And we'll talk about Fermin in a bit, but look how Barcelona players are alive to the movement of the ball. And we spoke about how important it is for them to be clever when reading the game, as we will need this against Chelsea. Eric Garcia slips the ball through the defender's legs into Fermin, and this time Fermin does ever so well, hitting it low and hard. Unai Simon had no chance at all. And you could tell from the way Fermin celebrated this goal, this is a man on a mission. Okay, you know how we say that games are decided by moments? I think this was the moment that decided this game because after the first goal, Athletic did try to fight back and they created a couple of chances to go level on the night. And so it became more than necessary for Barcelona to get a second, and it came at the best possible time from a Barca perspective because in the 47th minute, Fermin doubled the lead. But in the next phase of this analysis, I want us to focus on these 2 players. Now look where the move starts. It's actually from Athletic's attack. Look at the Barcelona players closing down the man on the ball and also the options to pass the ball to. This forces a poor pass that Fermin intercepts, but it's the sense of urgency first from Fermin to release that pass to Lamine, who is even more intelligent. He doesn't try to dribble or run with the ball. He has the awareness to Ferran Torres for at least getting it on target, because if you don't get the ball on target, you definitely cannot score. But these 2 weren't done, and in fact, Lamine Yamal continues to show why being world class is not just about scoring goals, but how you're able to influence outcomes in big moments in a game. Because look at this assist for the 4th. Look where he picks the ball up right in his half. Lovely bit of skill to beat the defenders. They tried to bring him down more than once, but he does ever so well to stay on his feet. It's the skill, the balance, the close control, the vision, and the quality to thread the pass through the backline and into the path of Ferran Torres. Ferran Torres does even better with this finish, sitting the goalkeeper down with what looked like a perfect strike. And I wanted to talk about Ferran Torres because with 2 goals on a night where your team wins 4-0, that's everything you want from a striker. But this is where it gets complicated analysing Ferran and his role in the team, because it doesn't matter where you put him in the front 3, he will score. He may not be as clinically consistent as Lewandowski, but what he does so well is his movement, knowing how to get in the best positions to receive the ball, and this is why he's called the Shark. Really important to have him in the squad, and this is the thing about this team. When everyone's fully fit, there's too many players that pose a goal threat, which makes it difficult for the opposition to know who they're going to pick up. So guys, what does this mean going forward? Well, I suppose it feels like everything is coming together for Barcelona. We've got our stadium back, our players are recovering from injuries, and our counter-pressing system is back to its best. this is exactly what we needed going into the game against Chelsea. And honestly, I must say I feel quite confident about the team. But as always, it's not just about me. I want to hear from you as well. Let me know what you thought about this game, and also how are you feeling going into the Champions League clash against Chelsea, which I will bring back here to review. So make sure you are subscribed if you're on, so you stay up to date with these uploads as and when they drop. Until next time, guys, see you soon, and Visca El Barça.